Yo guys, so we are back for another episode. Apologies I haven't managed to get an episode quicker out than this. It's just been hectic with the Christmas, New Year sort of period and stuff like that. By the way, I am a full Cerberus wanker today, so I've even got Cerberus joggers on. But today's episode is going to be about going through a little bit of the event session. You've seen a little bit already. We're going to be going a little bit heavier on the sandballs as well, which could be fun, and I might try and get a proper Husa bag out with some of the sprints today as well. And then after the workout, I'm going to go into a bit of a deep dive on what exactly is the aim with the training over these sessions, because obviously you've seen a fair few sessions now. So I'm going to break it down a little bit more. As you can see, I'm over the previous episodes. If you haven't watched them, go back and watch them. Highly recommend. But you can see that I'm doing a lot of pressing work, even learning like the push jerk and stuff like that. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about that a little bit later on in the episode. So yeah, about to drive to events now. I've got Christy tagging along with me to come into HSU today. And it's fucking freezing, let me tell you that. It is minus 2.5 at this moment in time. I'm currently waiting for my car to defrost. And then yeah, we can do the short 45-minute drive there, and then we can get straight stuck into it. So event session is coming up next. Yo guys, so I thought I'd do a voiceover on this event session. So we started off with sandballs, like I said. Funny story, I lifted this a few weeks back when I last touched the sandballs just before Christmas, and I thought I was doing 140 kilos. Turns out it's actually 120 because I weighed it that morning, which is a little bit frustrating because I thought I'd mastered the 140 kilo. But we move on. Happy to get a lot of reps on the 120 today though. I am going to try and get hands on 140 kilos at some point. So a lot of singles to start with on this 120, and then we moved into a nice big cluster set. So with the cluster set, I really like these when it's working with quite maximal weights. They allow you to basically be able to do a single rep, or up to 3 reps to be quite honest, a heavy load, and then resting about 30 to 45 seconds, and then you're going back in for another rep or 3 reps depending on how many reps you do. And you can run this for 5 sets or 6 sets if you're running singles, or if you're running multiple reps, obviously don't be running too many clusters, maybe just do 2 at most, or maybe 3. And then after that we went into some barbell hip thrusts. I worked up to a 5 rep max at RP 8.5 on this one. Ended up going and hitting 200 kilos altogether. Pretty happy with it. What you'll see here is though, literally as I'm about to start the set, Christy decides to walk right in front of the camera and then stares like she didn't know at all. I think she did just to make this YouTube. But yeah, 5 reps. Pretty happy with this, 200 kilos. Last time I did 5 reps at around about this RPE, I got 190, so I'm quite happy with that. Then I did a few sandbag carries before going into the Husa bag carry. So this wasn't actually on today's program. I was actually waiting around for the farmers, but the farmers were busy, so I decided I'll take the Husa bag for a run. This is 125 kilos, this, and to be quite honest, very happy. Haven't touched a Husa bag at all, to be quite honest with you. Normally just done normal sandbags carries, so it was a bit good to get my hands on it, ready for comp, and looking really forward to seeing what I can do. So this was 125. The max bag at the comp, because it's got trump weights, is 130 kilos, so basically comp weight for about 40 meters ish. Happy, and there were more there in the tank as well. I just thought I'd drop it. And then to finish off with, went into some farmers. So I did first run at 100 kilos. We're doing 10 meters drop and turn, but 30 meters like in total. So main thing we're doing is working on the transition as we're dropping and turning. To be quite honest, I was messing up a little bit on the drop. As you can see, I was having to rearrange the farmers and stuff like that. So that's something that I'm definitely going to have to work on, getting closer and closer to comp, but quite happy with how it felt. And then we went on to the 120 kilos, which again, they felt really good. That last 10 meters was a struggle. You'll see that in a second. But same again, I'm quite happy with how these dropped, to be honest, because they dropped perfectly in that place. Farmers has always been a good event for me when it comes to strongman comps, so I'm hoping this again will be another good event for me. The one thing that I will start doing a little bit closer to the comp is replicating how the comp's going to be, where you add your own weight, 5 kilos each, onto each frame, basically on the farmers, to basically add 10 kilos as you go 10 meters. So I'll bring that in a little bit closer to comp. Okay, so that's my event session done and dusted. Went quite well. The little thing that I was going to mention is I thought I did anyway, a 140 sandball, 140 kilo sandball a few weeks back, as like a little bit of like a tester. Turns out it was actually 120, not 140, which is a little bit annoying. So I'm gonna have to try and find a gym that's got the 140 at some point. But so basically, I ended up using the clusters within that. It was meant to be the 140 ball because, like I said, I thought it was meant to be 140, but I did weigh it today just to check because I was a bit curious just to see, because I've seen a few guys online and stuff on Instagram struggling a little bit with the 140, and I thought, I did it relatively alright, so I thought I'd always weigh it when I next get back at HSU, and it turned out 120, which made a little bit more sense, to be quite honest, since I've only done 3 weeks worth of using the sandballs. So yeah, cluster work as you saw on the 120 sandball, not the 140, and then farmers worked all the way up to 120 on the farmers as well, each hand, which went really well. The last 10 meters were really hard, but completely fine. That was the last thing in this whole workout, to be quite honest, because I changed the order around. Normally they're quite just after the sandballs, but just with how busy the gym was today, I ended up changing it, so it was last. So legs were feeling it, to be honest, more than anything else, on that last 10 metres on the 120. And then decided while I was waiting for the farmers to come free, I decided to take the Hooster bag out. I've just been doing carries with the sandbags, increasing the load each week. But decided, you know what, I'll get Hooster bag out. It weighs around about 125 kilos. And did 40 metres on it. Quite happy with it. Pickup needs a little bit of work, but I'm happy with it. 40 metres-ish. If I can get that, basically the comp weight, like the max comp weight, because you have trump weights, the max comp weight will be about 130 kilos, I think, off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but I think it's 100 kilo and 130 kilo. So if I can go for the 130 kilo, and to be honest, that 40 metres that I did today still had a little bit of room left in the tank, that'd be perfect if I can basically get around about 50 to 60 metres on that. I think that'll get me decent points, not knowing what anyone else is doing or anything like that, so I'm just guessing there. But yeah, I'm going to give a little bit of breakdown now on what the training is looking like. Obviously, you've seen a fair little bit of the workouts and stuff, but I'm going to give a little bit more breakdown. So to jump right in, as you could probably already tell, I'm doing a lot more pressing. Events day is the only day when I'm not actually doing any sort of pressing work, as like a little bit of a rest. But the reason why is after the HSU push-pull comp that I did a few videos ago, maybe about 5 weeks ago now, the pressing was where I was lagging a little bit. I was a bit disappointed coming out of that, so I knew that that's where I was going to put most of my time and effort going into naturals come February. Pressing had to be the main thing that I improved overall. Deadlift, quite happy with how deadlift has moved at the HSU comp and then had been moving, but this week that I basically lagged around a little bit, felt a little bit tough. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and then we can adjust it going forward from there on. So with the pressing, just to add in, I am learning the push jerk as well. Push press, I think, would have made it a little bit more difficult to get a decent weight come naturals. So push press, the push jerk, we are practicing a lot more when it comes down to basically technique more than anything else. I'm starting to nail it. Done a couple of singles at 100 kilos, and they went really, really well. Ideally, I want to hit that 115 kilo at naturals for 1 or 2 reps. So that's achievable for me anyway. I think it should be quite achievable, to be honest. The sandbag, the Husa bag, obviously I did that today at 125. As I mentioned, 130 is the weight that I'm going to try and go for at comp. Really happy with that. Little bit more tweaks on the pickup, but apart from that, really, really happy. Farmers, that is going to be like an unknown quantity because I haven't actually run through where it like how it would be at a comp where you're putting your own plates on, adding 5 kilo onto each little handle, and then carrying it, going again. That's going to be a little bit later on, closer to comp, that we're going to start putting that in. So I don't know how I'm going to run with that as it's ramping up. I'm happy that I managed to do 120 for 30 metres today. That tells me that I probably should be able to get at least a 130 done at comp at this moment in time. 140, we'll have to see and find out. So yeah, and then sandball. Again, the sandball, we are just really trying to just expose myself to it as much as we can, like the heavier sort of weights, which is why I should really get at some point in the near future, in the next few weeks at least anyway, try and get onto a 140 sandball and see if I can do at least one rep. The one at HSU is fine, but it's gone like an egg shape a little bit, one the side, so it makes it really difficult to basically clean it and fully get a full extension, because at some point, if you got it in a certain position, as you fully extending, it just makes it basically near enough impossible because it's like egg shaped at one side, which then means that you get here and you're basically going to lose your grip if you try to go and extend any further. So yeah, I could do with getting onto a fully round 120 sandball and a fully round 140 sandball as well, just to see how they are, how the pickup goes, how the extension goes and stuff. And I really need to measure the yoke height as well, because I think I'm going too high with the yoke height for the sandball as well. So that's something that I need to do basically next event session. But yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm deadlifting once a week, pressing 3 times a week on the axle. Most of it is axle clean and press. There is just one day where I'm just doing push press, like push press cycling basically, which you have already seen on this channel. If you haven't, go watch it back on the other episodes. And yeah, I hope that gives you a full rundown. Obviously the event work is getting done on one day, so the sandbags, the farmers, and then all the other like accessory fluffy stuff is getting done after the main sessions. So yeah, next episode, I'm not sure when it will be, but it will be out pretty soon. I'm hoping to get back on this. The next episode will basically be out very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled, like and subscribe, and also share the video as well. If you are doing that, put down in the comments what you will be trying to aim for come that is.